Yeah. Second attempt at this. Had a little mishap earlier. Okay. How's everyone doing? As the ads pop up and the music goes down. Vigilante Williamson, second attempt. Gonna just go right into the first story. I'm gonna reread it. Basically, I had a little mishap earlier. I don't believe anyone was watching. I hope to God not. I deleted the video. Not gonna really mention the nature. I guess I can call it just a mishap. That would have been catastrophic had I had fans. So it's good to know, so I can learn now and get better. That's why it's not always good to blow up fast, kids. So if this is seen in the future, just know that you have to learn and you have to make mistakes, and it's good to do that in a vacuum or by yourself, and then expand. And so that's why we're here. So let's get through the story. Hopefully, I'm a little better at reading it now that I've read through. But that wasn't a mishap. But I digress. Actually, let me go back to the headline. A nonprofit flips abandoned prison into sustainable farm with the health of I hate the term at-risk youth and jobless veterans. Throughout this throughout this article, there's a lot of language that is whether or not it means to unintentionally dismissive to a lot of people. To me, I don't come from much, so I don't like people being just kind of classified in this sort of way. But I do understand where it's coming from, and it is a beautiful organization. The unintentional slant of the author aside, it's a lot of good being done. So let's say non-profit flips abandoned prison into sustainable farm for youth and veterans. I'm not gonna use all this classification. It's unnecessarily divisive. On the grounds of an abandoned, decommissioned prison in North Carolina, vegetables are being tended by hand. That, if not for the opportunity to learn one of the world's most oldest occupations, because there's another occupation that's gotten that same distinction, might have ended up in a real prison with nowhere to go but down. Doesn't give that child or give the young man's name. Unfortunately, he's not a child. Just he's probably bigger than me. But Growing Change is an organization that believes the best solution to a problem is one that strikes at the root, which I agree with, not the stem. And they have been tilling that soil since 2011. In converting old prisons to year-round farming and education centers, Growing Change solves several problems at once. The program synergistically brings together young men on the edge of the criminal justice system and jobless wounded veterans returning home from deployment, recruiting that discipline and leadership skills to teach the latter and guide the former. Growing Change creates an environment whereby, let me think of a better, just use at-risk youth, or no, just youth who need to fulfill. What the hell happened there? A little bit of a jump because of that ad. That threw me for a loop. Okay, the program synergistically brings together young men. I read that. I have ad blocker, but I don't really use Chrome. I'm using Chrome because of the mishap I had with my normal browser. Kind of revealed too much information about myself, so I'm like, okay, just don't use that browser. Now, it's auto-completed. I auto-completed docs myself, basically. But that stream has been deleted. So, yeah. Let me get back into the article as I throw myself in a loop because I didn't put on ad blocker. I just went right into the stream. I had to read. I think I had to refresh everything, but I just want to get into this. Okay. Including the discipline and leadership skills of the latter, which are the jobless wounded veterans, and to guide the youth. Growing Change create an environment whereby youth who need to fulfill long hours of community service can learn life skills, sustainable farming practices, and animal husbandry, with an opportunity to receive clinical therapy in an environment much more suited to young men. North Carolina is the last of two states in which youth are adjudicated as adults for all charges at age 16, explains the founder, Noran Sanford. By the time some 16-year-olds, by the time some 16-year-olds arrive in the courts, they are permanently limited their employment. You know what? Am I muted? Shit, wouldn't that be something? No, I'm not muted. I just don't sound right to myself. Probably because I have this fucking mask on. And that's messing up. Sorry, I try to adjust. This is live YouTube, right? Alright. This is one of the worst episodes I've done. Well, okay. This is how you get back in the swing. I like doing this even though no one's watching, so I can get better. I think I'm better at talking in my actual videos because of this, and I really want this to grow into a podcast eventually. So it is kind of just a training. So, all right. By the time some 16-year-olds arrive, of course, they are permanently limited in their employment due to their adult criminal record, which is pretty terrible. 2016, the farm in Wagram began admitting young men facing chaos at home, failure at school, trouble with mental health, or substance abuse to salvage lives before the criminal justice cycle begins. Sanford's model of intense therapy and flipping their prisons has seen a 92 reduction rate in repeat offenders, that's what that word means, among youth participating, while the national average is 43%. At the core level, we are instilling hope, Sanford explains to Civil Eats. When hope is gone, it creates a pretty vicious void that a lot of grimmer things can get put into. And as low wealth and rural America is left farther behind, then that vacuum is stronger. We're breaking that stream. Meanwhile, veterans work towards university degrees in environmental sciences and sustainable agricultures. Together, these individuals, young and old, who may have been forgotten by society, work to rehabilitate abandoned brownfields, land that may be contaminated and must be cleaned before further use, and the prison property decaying into dysfunction, bringing hope to all dark places. As I scroll down with my keyboard, the number of societal areas growing change has the capacity to reform is rare among nonprofit work, which is sad because it shouldn't be rare. It should be the standard for nonprofit work, but I digress. And I think I'm going to get another... Let me just get out of this ad before I screw myself up. I don't know what the hell is going on. Oh, jeez. Whatever. Okay. Along with the boon to individual participants' lives, stands to benefit North Carolina counties it operates in, many of which experience the consequences of poor health outcomes arising from a diet of mostly processed foods, which, as you can see, your host also has a similar issue with that. Food addiction is real, but I digress again. This has become some of these counties. This is because some of these counties have no locally grown produce, a fact that has produced some startling facts about a part of the country that most of the mainstream media, who don't pay attention to, are not familiar with. Wagram's Scotland County is one of the poorest counties in North Carolina, with the state's highest unemployment and food insecurity rate. That's sad. Because the incarceration rate in the U.S. is at its lowest level in 2 decades, with imprisonments among black Americans down by 34% since 2006, which is a great thing. North Carolina is shuttering prisons and correctional facilities across the state, with dozens of such facilities already closed. Now, how about that? We're lowering prison rates so much that we can close prison. That's a beautiful thing. And I think the news should just report on that fact alone. Along with offering a collection of buildings to be repurposed into education and art centers, prisons are ideal for conversion into farms because of their sturdy gopher and sheep-proof fences, large open spaces with the properties belonging to the state in decay. Officials are more than happy to co-sign the land to such projects. The prison kitchen has been converted into a commercial-grade kitchen where the county will provide training on preparing and preserving food, while also serving as a classroom for students receiving training in food service and culinary arts. and offer farm to classroom trips to educate students or educate children on nutritional foods. The crops produced by Growing Change Farm are sold to local restaurants, a business enterprise aspect of the project that allows the program to be self-sustaining for years. This is a great thing to have a nonprofit do, where there is a bit of profitability in it, where you sell, so there's a way to, even if no one gives money, you can still live. Fertilizing entrepreneurship in the hearts that all that work there, which is another skill that everyone needs to learn, myself included, and especially, what happened there? 600 pound less, an ad. But to add that entrepreneurship element is huge, and that's a beautiful thing. This whole article is a beautiful thing, and this is why I do this stream. All mistakes aside, all fuck ups aside, it's really fun and really cool to see stories like this. Hopefully I don't, as I try to get back to YouTube, hopefully you don't all see Tommy Hearns and all my other stuff. Oh, you did, damn it. Okay, let's get back to this. Gotta figure that out. So from there, I'm going to go into a couple of stories on the lottery and then go ahead and end this. Two positive stories of what to do with lottery winnings. A man is honoring handshake from 28 years ago, splitting a jackpot with a friend after winning millions. A handshake, said the lottery winner in Wisconsin, who is living up to an agreement made with his buddy almost 3 decades ago. Now, would you do this? If I'm gonna read the story, and I want you to think: is this something you would do? I hope so. I hope the answer is mostly so. We'll see. Friends Tom Cook and Joe Feeney shook hands in 1992, swearing that if either one of the pals won the Powerball jackpot, they would split the winnings no matter who bought the ticket. Tom of Elk Mound was frozen when he realized the Powerball ticket he bought was the $22 million jackpot winner. After he called Joe and Minnow Money, I know I'm fucking that name up. I apologize to all the members of that great city, to tell him the news, and Joe, an avid fisherman, couldn't quite believe it. He called me and I said, "Are you jerking my bobber?" Because Joe sold in 45 states. The odds of winning the Powerball jackpot are 1 in almost 300 million. Tom gave his 2 weeks notice and retired upon learning the news. Neither have any extravagant plans for the winnings. Both took home $6 million after taxes, which shows you how bad taxes are, because that 22 turned into 12. But both are looking forward to enjoying more family time. They do look forward to some traveling. Previously, Tom, Joe, and their wives took a road trip together in a small PT Cruiser convertible for future road trips. They plan to upgrade their vehicle. I can't think of a better way to retire, Tom included. So these guys are close friends, which does help. So I think if that was your close friend, I think most people would do it. This seems like an agreement between two really close friends, and it's just a cool story. It's a little shorter. It's a positive story. I mean, winning the lottery and sharing with your friend. After 3 decades, you went to it, and this is the final story, and also a really positive story that has to do with the lottery. But it's a lot less won, but there's still a lot gained, and this one has just a happier benefit. And I try to find unpolitical stories, and so some people, unfortunately, in a world where everything's politicized, may find this political. But please note, note all the details. How about that? Before just getting political. And see that this is just people helping people, and not everyone looks through the same lens that the media does. So I'll just keep it at that and digress. So let's get into the story. I'm sorry, I forgot the headline. Single mom donates lottery win anonymously to wounded policeman, but officers track her down to reciprocate. It's a pretty great story. It seems that life was finally giving her a break. A single mom, down to her last $7, found $1 in a grocery store parking lot. So she walked back in the store and bought a lottery ticket and won $100. Just like that, her luck began turning around. Most of us in that position would probably keep the $100 and breathe a sigh of relief. But not Shatera Sims. At the urging of her 12-year-old daughter, Rakaya, she donated all of her winnings to the family of a local Kansas City police officer wounded in the line of duty. For the Sims family, the desire to pay it forward was personal. When Shatera's eldest child, this is a sad story. Miss Shatera's eldest daughter was killed in 2002. Kansas City police officers went above and beyond to support her and her family as much as possible. The detectives were really there for us. They were there for us more than anyone I can imagine. They did things they didn't have to. Shatera, so CNN, they came to see my kids. They did a lot. They were fathers, therapists. They were everything. So that's beautiful. Oh, man. Not wanting to make a fuss about the generosity, Shatera called the Kansas City Police Department and made her donation anonymously. She told officers on the phone that she had been dealing with severe hardships of her own, recently losing her job due to the COVID pandemic, which is sad. I said COVID on YouTube. There's the advantage of no one watching you. I'm not monetized, so I might as well just speak on my. Hopefully the stream doesn't get taken down. And I know about I've had a pay cut and an hour reduction because of it, so I understand it. But I'm blessed to still have a job. And unfortunately, Shatera Sims is not. But one is $100 and donated anyway, which is a beautiful thing. I think there's a Bible proverb about a similar story. But in spite of what she was going through, Shatera felt the family of the wounded officer needed $100 more than she did. The police tried to convince her to reconsider, but Shatera was insistent since she didn't even leave her name and number. She assumed that brief phone conversation and her sense of inner satisfaction would be the end of the story. It didn't take long, though, until the local police precincts were abuzz, touched by Shatera's kindness and gratitude. A group of officers became determined to find her and express their own thanks. To hear her call and just express thanks for no reason other than she's thankful is really impactful to us. Kansas City Police Department Sergeant Jake Bakina told CNN, I can imagine, especially in this time. After locating Shatera, the police department set up a GoFundMe to help her and her family in their financial situation. They called the campaign Helping a Woman with a Heart of Gold, and the response was overwhelming, with strangers and officers donating more than $145,000. Wow. And this is a tweet about it. And this is beautiful. People like her are hard to come by, I agree, wrote Kansas City resident Chantel Childs on the police department's Facebook post that announced the campaign. A person that would give to a stranger and not eat for herself, she deserves support. It's amazing to see my community come together for this person. Makes me proud. Last Sunday, Shatera and Rakaya visited the wounded officer's colleague at work, some of whom were on the scene where Officer T was critically injured in the line of duty. In a Facebook post, the department expressed gratitude for being able to connect with those generous souls. It took a while to find them, but we're so glad we did. Sergeant Jake said that it is kindness like Shatera's that really keeps police officers serving and protected even when times are tough, and they are tough for everyone on the planet, especially in America, really especially around the world. But again, I'm not getting political, but you know a little bit about what's going on, hopefully. Her gesture may have seemed small at the time, but it ended up touching people's lives in a way she could have never imagined. And so you just see generosity getting returned back to someone. It's a very beautiful story. And again, for those political, please peep all the details before assuming you know what a group of people think about another group of people. That said, I will close this stream. This is, again, the second attempt. Hopefully I didn't dox myself anymore in this one. I thank you for watching, if you're watching. If you like the video, please like the video. Please tell me how much you suck in the comments so I can get better. And even if you didn't like the video, thank you for watching. I will talk to you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we'll do these streams. Hopefully in the future I'll be able to do every day, but I got to get a lot better at YouTube before I can do that. But thank you for watching today. I'll see you guys Wednesday.